Good evening, everyone. Let us start the class by chanting Namo Tassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. All right, page number 250, please. Nutriment. All right. Nutriment, known as nutritive essence, on reaching its state of presence, produces material phenomena originating from nutriment at the time it is swallowed. Produces material phenomena originating from nutriment at the time it is swallowed. Guide to para 13. Material phenomena originating from nutriment. Ahara samutthana rupa. The internal nutritive essence supported by external produces material phenomena at the moment of presence, starting from the time it is swallowed. The nutritive essence that has reached presence in the material groups originating from nutriment produces a further pure octad, and the nutritive essence in that octad originates still a further octad. Thus, the occurrence of octads leads up 10 or 12 times. The nutriment taken by a pregnant mother pervading the body of the embryo originates materiality in the child. Even nutriment smeared on the body is said to originate materiality. The nutritive essence in the internal groups born of the other three causes also originates several occurrences of the pure octad in succession. The nutriment taken on one day can support the body for as long as 7 days. For as long as 7 days. Can someone remind everyone else what is the composition of the octad that they are referring to here? We are in page number 250. We are going through nutriment, right? What is the octad that they are referring to here? Anyone? Miri, would you know Miri?
Is it the Shuddhashtaka?
Okay, can you name?
That is, yeah. So it will be the earth element, the air element, water element, and the nutriment. And it will be Varna Gandha Rasa Oja, which is color, smell. Varna Gandha Rasa is taste, and Oja is nutriment.
All right, that is the octad they are referring to here. right? Now, when at the point of presence, when nutriment or when some sort of food is consumed at the moment of presence, it creates the nutritive essence that has reached presence in the material groups originating from nutriment produces a further pure octahedra, which leads to this nutrient or this composition, this octahedra that Mary has just elucidated what an octahedra is, the composition of an octahedra. That octahedra produces or is able to, with nutriment taking the forerun in place, produces another octahedra. Now, what does this mean? Can someone explain this to me, please? And that octahedra produces another octahedra. That octahedra produces another and can go up to 10 to 12 times. The multiplication can happen 10 to 12 times. What is this about? What is the story behind this? Hemamali, can you take a swing, please? Just a swing, you know. Just guess, even. What do you think, Hemamali? Right?
Actually, Bhante, I don't know.
Now think of it in this way, Hemamali. Now, you know, what? Now let's say, you know, do you eat pumpkin? No, pumpkin.
Yes.
Cucumber.
Yeah.
Salads and stuff as well, right? Now, what happens when you cut a slice of cucumber and you put it on your eyes? What happens there?
It's a sensation.
Yeah, I mean, sensations are always, but does something happen to the eye?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Refreshes the eye.
It irritates the eye.
Oh my God.
No, but it refreshes the eye, the cooling effect.
The eye, for Sujata, it irritates the eye. Okay, maybe an allergy right there, right? So something happened to the eye, isn't it?
It's the cooling effect.
Cooling effect, right? It has a cooling
No,
effect.
you close the eye. You close the eye. It's a shock. So you close the eye. When you get that thing on your eye, you might want to close your eyes, the
No,
lids.
throwing cucumbers at you. You're taking a slice at you. You're keeping it.
Cucumber. I had like pumpkin.
No, cucumber. I changed it.
It will soothe you. It will soothe you.
Okay,
You'll feel fine.
wonderful. So Sujata will also be fine with cucumber on the eye. Right.
Yeah.
Now, if you apply, let's say, you know, whatever, depending on what you apply, right, the reaction that the skin have to it, right, can be different, isn't it?
Mm.
If you apply some saffron powder, turmeric powder, or, you know,
Or chili powder.
chili powder, you apply, or you put an egg on your face, right? Whatever, you will have different sort of reactions, right? Now, that is simply, you know, taking that specific instance as an example, the effect that nutriment has or creates material phenomena, right, when it is applied. And that creation process or that affecting process happens through that octahedra creating new octahedras, dependent upon that base octahedra, right? So then sort of now allowing that change to occur, right? Allowing that change to occur or that effect to be sort of present In the same way, when we consume, now with regards to the Buddha, it is said that the Buddha, that he is able to absorb nutriment right at the taste buds itself, right? But for us, it is said that it is different for us, right? That it is different for us, that we do not absorb complete nutriment at the taste bud, but later on in the process, right? So that is what, this paragraph is speaking about. How that nutritive essence within the octad now taking predominance, where dependent upon that nutriment, new nutriment or octads with nutriment arise. Do you understand?
Yes.
Right?
Excuse me, Bhante, what is octad? I couldn't follow.
Suddhashtaka.
Makadde?
Suddhashtaka. Suddhashtaka, an octad collection of how many? What's the meaning?
4. It has
8
8 of them.
Right? So someone else, right? Noeli, can you tell everyone what is in octad again, please?
8.
Yeah, what is in it? What is
The pure octad.
yeah.
Do you want it's the 4 great essentials.
Yes.
Smell, taste, nutriment.
Color.
8.
And
Color.
Yeah, the vision, the color.
color, right? Apo, Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu, Vanda, Gandha, Rasa, Oja. All right. Lovely. Now, moving on. Analysis by way of origin. Therein, the material phenomena of the heart and the 8 faculties are born of karma. The phenomena of the heart and the 8 faculties are born of karma. The 2 media of intimation are born only of consciousness. Sound is born of consciousness and temperature. The triple qualities of lightness, malleability, and wildness arise from temperature, consciousness, and nutriment. The inseparable material phenomena and the element of space arise from 4 causes. Characteristic material phenomena do not arise from any cause. Right? Now remember, we are speaking, this is the chapter on Rupa. Right? So when it says it does not arise of any causes, it's referring specifically to the causes that align with Rupa. Right? With Rupa. So now, put a star there or mark that paragraph as important, please. Right? Now, guide to para 14. You will have to remember those differentiations that are sort of mentioned there in that paragraph. It will come and repeat itself in the future. Right? Let's go into what that paragraph is about. Right? Articulate sounds are caused by consciousness. Inarticulate sounds by temperature. The triple qualities of lightness, malleability, and wildness arise from favorable climatic conditions. Here, regard to favorable. A buoyant state of mind and wholesome nutriment, while unfavorable climate, depressed states of mind and unwholesome nutriment cause heaviness, rigidity, and unwieldiness in the physical body. The space element occurs as the How do I pronounce that word, please?
Interstices. Interstices.
What is that word?
Interstices.
Yes, I got that deal. Thank you. Interstices. Right. Between the material groups born of the four causes. And therefore, it is regarded as being derivatively born of the four causes. Right, of the four causes. The reason why the characteristics do not arise from any cause is explained in the next section. Now, articulate sounds are caused by consciousness. Sound particularly does not have its own true meaning. We give it meaning, isn't it? That is understandable, no? We give whatever sounds and frequencies we hear meaning, right? Hence, articulate sounds are caused by consciousness, right? Inarticulate sounds by temperature. How does that happen? Why did
Voice.
I touch.
No, Bhante, is it the voice that makes articulate sound? Or vachi vinyati? Or the,
caused by?
yeah,
Caused by.
caused by, yes.
Cause, yes, vachi vinyati, because vinyati is consciousness. Yes, of
Yeah.
yes. Inarticulate sounds?
That's a purely sound caused by Rutja. What is the English word for Rutja?
Yeah.
Temperature.
Okay, how does that happen?
By creating the all the rupas associated with 8 octaves plus sound.
Okay. Okay. Can we have a story behind it?
Story.
Thunder be an example.
All right.
Yes,
And the
thunder.
water flowing.
Yeah. Thunder, water. Yeah. So
Wind.
wind. Absolutely. Now, thank you, Chamari. Now, the triple qualities of lightness, malleability, and wilderness arise from favorable climatic conditions. Favorable to what?
To the mind.
Are you sure?
Favorable to the rupa itself, because it's coming from the softness. What do you call what is that? Lightness, softness, and the third one, the
Wilderness.
wilderness.
Neil, why did you say the mind?
Well, I was thinking because it's a positive, it's a what you call Shobhana Chittas, isn't it? This the three things that is you know, like the this wilderness, the malleability, lightness, those triple qualities are in the Shobhana Chittas, isn't it? It's like they are positive things, isn't it? So they're favorable, I thought, to the mind.
Okay. Here it is speaking about the standard of the rupa.
No, I know. I understand that this is to do with rupa and not with the mind. But I thought, like when you're feeling happy or when you're feeling positive, then the Shuddhashtaka that is being created are different to that of if you're feeling very down and depressed and all the rest of it.
Yes, yes.
That's how I thought about it. I may be wrong. I just thought.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
I think there is an addition to that as well, to what Mihiri is saying. So it's like 1/3 of the story, because these three arise from Ritu, the nutriment, the temperature, nutriment, and the mind, state of mind. So what Mihiri is talking about is just the mind aspect of these rupa being created, yeah?
Yes, of course. And what we covered, I think, last week, isn't it, with that table that we went through? Yes, with the table that we went through as well. Now here, if we continue along that sentence, we have the triple causes of lightness, malleability, and willingness arise from favorable climatic conditions. A buoyant state of mind and a wholesome nutriment, while unfavorable climate, depressed states of mind and unwholesome nutriment causes heaviness, rigidity, and unwellness in the physical body, right? In the physical body. Now, I think that is also connected to how in areas where you don't get enough sunlight or is very cold throughout the year, they link those areas to people having certain conditions of mind, isn't it? Being sad, being depressed. But there are also other sort of studies which also sort of counter that sort of analysis to say, when we take the Scandinavian countries and when we measure happiness and all of that, you know, the statistics that they get can sort of say, no, it's not all to do with the sun, where other conditions can also have an impact upon how happy or sad you are. Regardless, right? Regardless, here it is speaking about the lightness, malleability, and willingness arise from favorable climatic conditions, a buoyant state of mind, and wholesome nutriment, right? Wholesome nutriment. While unfavorable climate, depressed states of mind, and unwholesome nutriment causes heaviness, rigidity, and unwellness in the physical body. This is also spoken of in connection to Vipassana meditation and also disturbances based on body that can arise through practice, right? Dhamsiri, you want to say something?
Yeah, Bhante, in general, the temperature or the rutuja, right? It's actually responsible for the inanimate rupas, right? So that means rivers and house and chairs and everything. It's caused by rutuja.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of Shuddhashtaka and what are the three kalapas.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so this is how the surrounding is acting on your mind, right? Because this is, I think, this analysis giving us more sort of interrelationship between the materiality and the mind, right? Because rutuja is actually, most of the rutuja kalapas are dealing with inanimate, all the outside of a body. But of course, there's a rupa inside your body also, but I'm talking about the generally inanimate part of this. So this one is Sorry.
Go on, go on.
Yeah. So the in other words, this explains the how it relates the inanimate rupas effect on your consciousness, or the yeah. What do you think? Good example is, let's say, a good example is if somebody has a capability of singing, right? So that capability is not 100% coming from your rupa, originating from consciousness, a chitta, right? Consciousness. But it's also supported by Rutuja also, because it's something to do with sound.
But why can't it be both ways around? Now here, Damsiri, in the paragraph, it specifically refers to, it uses the word from, right? The triple qualities of lightness, malleability, and willingness arise from favorable climate conditions, buoyant states of mind, and then the wholesome nutriment, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So he is referring to that, but of course, this part can also have an effect on the other. So it,
interrelationship,
happens both ways, and also with regard to Utu plays a very active role when it comes to the interference between the being and external plus internal with internal as well. External.
Internal materiality.
Yes, internal with internal as well. Internal with external, external with internal, external and external.
Yeah.
Right? So because it is in that fluctuation of Utu, which takes a very predominant role when it comes to the managing of the levels of the other phenomena.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Right. So we can speak about it in that sense of interdependent, or rather dominance between that. All of those of external, internal, and external.
Yeah. I think we are going to discuss this more further some in future, because it's under Kalapa.
Yeah. Why do you keep bringing future stuff up, Damsiri?
No, because I'm trying to understand this paragraph.
Yeah.
Because there's a little bit of uncertainty in this paragraph.
I'll stop Damsiri reading the book, please. No,
I didn't read, actually. I didn't.
All right, shall we just move on? Right. Now, arise from. Okay. Right. The triple qualities of lightness. No. Okay. The physical and the space element occurs as the interstices. I don't know what that word means. Google that.
Spaces, connections.
Interface. Actually, it's in between.
In between. Okay.
Yeah.
So, between the material groups born of the four causes. Okay, we already know that. Right?
Yeah.
We already know that. And therefore, it is regarded as being derived. As being derived, born of the four causes. The space element occurs interstices between the material groups born of the four causes. Right? That is clear. And therefore, it is regarded as being derivatively born of the four causes, derived from the four causes, or born derived from the four causes. The reason why the characteristics do not arise from any cause is explained in the next section, right? Verse 15. 18, 15, 13, and 12 arise respectively from karma, consciousness, temperature, and nutriment. 18, 15, 13, and 12 arise respectively from karma, consciousness, temperature, and nutriment. It is explained that the characteristics of material phenomena are not produced by any modes of origin, since its intrinsic nature consists solely in the qualities of being produced, etc. Let's go to what that means. 18. The 18 that arise from karma are 8 inseparables, 8 faculties, heart base, and space. Remember the 8 faculties? Yes, can someone remind everyone?
The 5 sense faculties, the 2 senses, sexes, and the life faculty.
Lovely, thank you. The 15, so the 8 inseparables, the 8 faculties, the inseparables is Sudashtrika, isn't it? Right? The 8 faculties, the heart base, and space is born of karma. Right? Is born of karma. Right? Which there are a lot of interesting things in between if you read between the lines, right? But let's read the whole paragraph first. The 15 that arise from consciousness are 8 inseparables, 5 mutables, sound, and space. Again, the 15 that arise from consciousness are 8 inseparables, 5 mutables, sound, and space. Okay. The 13 that arise from temperature are 8 inseparables, lightness, triad, which is lightness, ujjuta, kammanita, mudita, those 3, sound, and space. Okay.
Bhante, when you say mutables, is it the triad and the 2 communication? You said 5 mutables.
The 5 mutables. What are the 5 mutables?
This is the triad and the 2 communication.
Is it?
Yeah, lightness, malleability, and wieldiness,
Yes.
and the 2 communications.
Yes. Vinya.
Yeah.
The 2 vinya.
Purple and bodily.
All right. The 5 mutables, sound, and space. The 13 that arise from temperature, 8 inseparables, lightness, triad, sound, and space. The 12 that arise from nutriment are 8 inseparables, lightness, triad, and space. Right? Now, okay, we'll go through it first. That 28 material phenomena can further be classified according to their number of causes as follows. 1 cause. Those that can arise out of 1 cause are the 8 faculties, heart base, and 2 intimations. 2 causes, sound. 3 causes, lightness, triad. 4 causes, 8 inseparables, and space. Causeless characteristics 4. That's very interesting. Causeless, right? The 4 characteristics, right? Now, The 18 that arise from karma are 8 inseparables, 8 faculties, heart, base, and space. Right? Now, when we take, as we spoke of in the earlier verse with regards to nutriment, we spoke that based on this nutriment that is applied or swallowed, it creates further octaves leading up to 10 or 12, right? Now that comes down to then the nutriment, the 12 that arise from nutriment. We find that the 8 inseparables can create, right, can arise due to 4 causes: kamma, chitta, utu, ahara. Right? Kamma, chitta, utu, ahara. Because these are qualities. Right? These are qualities that stick together. I mean, you can't even actually say stick together. If you take it in the right way, it is. By nature, it exists as a collective phenomena owing to its own intrinsic qualities, features, functions, and properties. Do you understand? Right? So hence, supported by or due to or arising from kamma, chitta, utu, ahara, the 8 inseparables can arise from any 4 of them. And then based on them can further create new ones. Right? Based on them can further create new ones. Is that understood? Right? Now, sorry about the sound effects. Right. Now, 8 faculties, heart, base, and space. Now, if you remember, I think 3 classes ago when Tamsiri was speaking about rebirth, you know, so he was actually referring to this section here, wasn't it, Tamsiri? Right? Right? Mentioning that, you know, that at the moment of conception itself, because as soon as kamma, the rupa arises, because the heart base arises because specifically of kammaja rupa, right? So that is from this section, and we will of course be coming to it in the future as well, right? Coming to it from in the future as well. So 8 inseparables, 8 faculties, heart, base, and space. Now in kamma as well, right? In or through kamma, the arising, the maturation of these different parts that are mentioned within these 4 categories can change. Right? So now when a kamma vipaka happens, just like I remember some time ago, we discussed this instance where utu, where kamma affects the utu affects the phenomena, or the phenomenas rather, right? So now in the same way, now put that down to practice where, or practice, you know, put that into, you know, think about that part, where now the kamma affects the utu affects a space, for example. Do you get it? Right? Because with the expansion and contraction laws that we know, when the utu arises, the space can be affected. Now, the space being affected affects the rest. Do you get it? Right? So it is somewhat in the same way. For example, if it is very hot, you know, whatever which is laid out in the sun can, you know, can sort of erode or decay quite easily or quickly. Or when it is exposed to sodium, something can decay quite easily and quickly, right? In the same way, different phenomena that arise can affect other phenomena adversely or differently, regardless, right? So kamma works in the same way how because of karma, the space that arises can be affected, right? The space that arises can be affected. But this effect usually, when it happens, maybe let's say throughout the body or through a localized area of the body, it happens through the utu, right? Happens through the utu. Now, if you look at the utu part now, right? We have 8 inseparables: lightness, triad, sound, and space. Do you see it there? Right? Now, Utu then can affect the 8 inseparables, the lightness, triad, sound, and space. Again, a way by which, the same way by which karma affects the body or can affect the body. Do you understand the point? I feel like I'm confused.
Yes, Bhante, can you please explain again?
Yes, I will. Chamari?
Bhante?
Did you get what I meant?
Yeah, kind of. I think there is the interrelationship because the rupana of the rupa is to do with the ritu, and the whole point of it's called rupa is because of this phenomena. One affects the other. That bit I understand.
Which bit is it that you don't understand? Or
Well, ask me again, Bhante. What is it that you want me to answer?
she's very clinical today. Okay.
No, Bhante, I'm really tired, but I think I'm getting my energy back. See, some Rupa Kalapas are being created because this is a bit interesting or taking up mental space.
Now, okay, we'll go over it. Now, what we are talking about is essentially cause and effect, right?
Yes.
We know the causes for Rupa to arise. Basically, we have Kammaja, Chittaja,
Picture.
Puja, and Aharaja, right? As when these Rupas arise, the Rupas would always determine by karma. The Rupa gives rise to what you deserve through, or no, deserve is the wrong word. Dependent upon the karmic energy present. Because Kamma, Chitta, Utu, Ahara does not have a mind. It is a nature. It only presents or creates or vibrates in accordance with the energy that is present, right? So, for example, if a embryo does not have limbs, or the child does not have limbs, or a certain limb, or does not have eyes, or a certain other organ, the determining factor is not within the karma or at any specific stage of the Rupa, because the Rupa is enacting according to an energy. So when the energy gives rise, now Kammaja, right? Usually, as we spoke earlier, Kammaja Rupas, which is 8 inseparables, 8 faculties, heart, base, and space, the Kammaja Rupa, or if in the first place, the child, or at the process of fertilization or conception, really, conception, the child who is to be born has the karmic potential to have a Trihetuka Patisanti. However, a karma which takes rise within the womb, let's say, right, hinders the development of a specific organ, let's say, or let's say the eye or limb or whatever it is, right? For that, now that karma to take rise, for that to happen, right, it has to hinder the growth, which is the growth which is happening within the cell now. For that to take rise, it can happen through the affecting of one of the pieces of phenomena that are mentioned here. For example, the karma changes the uttu. The uttu changes the type of space that occurs dependent upon the uttu, now hindering growth in a certain way. Do you get it now? Right? When we take space, specifically, space has 4 causes. Space can be manipulated by kamma, chitta, uttu, and ahara. Right? But we are here speaking specifically about kamma. The kamma affects the uttu affects one of the parts that it is able to produce, which can be the inseparables, the lightness triad, sound, and space. Do you understand? Right? It is how does a karma then give rise or affect something which is in process. After inception or upon inception, or inception occurs through a trihetuka patisandhi. However, the karmas are such that although trihetuka patisandhi is in play, it hinders specific growth within a part of the cell. That can happen by affecting any part of these pieces which is mentioned, or phenomena that is mentioned within these 4 sections. Right? So we spoke of an example where karma affects the uttu affects the space, now hindering the growth. Okay? Is that more clear now? Yes, Tamaria?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you got it in the first place. You were just tired. All right. Now, the 28 types of, okay, we covered that. Remember, you have to remember this part. So make sure that you put a star there as well. This will keep repeating. Right? This is Yamaka, Dhamma Sangani, even in Vipassana, this will keep repeating. Right? This part. Now, grouping of material phenomena, Kalapa Yojana. Right. There are 21 material groups in as much as they arise together, cease together, have a common basis, and occur together. Right? There are 21 material groups in as much as they arise together, they cease together, have a common basis, and occur together. Sounds a bit familiar, isn't it? Does it not? Yeah. Now, did someone try to say something? Yes, Noeli. You're muted again.
Bhante?
Yes. And we can
Yeah, you said it's familiar. Is it like the 4 Chetasikas? They have 4 characteristics.
Yes, it is.
But not the same 3. One is different, isn't it, with Chetasikas?
Yes, yes.
But this one is
as the same object.
Not the same, but because Chetasikas is arise together, cease together, same base and same object.
Yes.
But this one is arise together, cease together, same. It's not the object. They are in a cluster. They are in a group.
Yes. Here there is
And
no
same base. And same base.
here there is no object, right? So let's go to see what
Yeah, no object. Yeah, but it instead of the object, they have put the same. They occur together.
yes, occur together. Now let's see. Thank you, Noeline. Now, guide to verse 16. Material phenomena do not occur singly, but in combination. See, singly word, but in combinations or groups known as Rupa Kalapas. Right? We know that. Of which 21 are enumerated. Just as all the Chetasikas. Right? Just as all the Chetasikas. Just as all the Chetasikas possess 4 characteristics, so too do the material phenomena in a group. All the material phenomena in a group arise together and cease together. All material phenomena in a group arise together and cease together. Remember, it is in a group, in a group, when they are a cluster. They have a common base, namely the connascent great essentials, which are the proximate cause for the derivative phenomena as well as for each other, which is the proximate cause for the derivative phenomena as well as for each other. Right? Remember the each other, how nutriment creates a new octahedr. Remember that? We've just read that. So that is why each other is there. Right? And they all occur together from their arising to their cessation. Right? From their arising to their cessation. Between the groups, of course, from one group to the other, there can be differences. But when they appear within a group, they arise together and have those 4 laws by which they abide. Right? Groups, natures by which they abide. Groups originating from karma. Therein, life and the 8 inseparable material phenomena together with the I are called the I Descartes. Right? How does the 8 inseparables, they're in life, 8 inseparables together with the I. So in 8, Suddhashtaka, Jivitindriya, and Chakku together,
Chakku
Prasada together forms the I Descartes. Right? Similarly, by joining the former 9 together with the year and so forth. Right? For the rest, we take away the pasada and add the respective pasada, and that is the Descartes for that respective indriya. Right? Now, the ear Descartes, nose Descartes, and thumb Descartes, body Descartes, female Descartes, male Descartes, heart-based Descartes should respectively be formed. Inseparable material phenomena together with life are called the vital nonad. Are called the vital nonad. What? Inseparable material phenomena together with life are called the vital nonad. These 9 groups originate from karma, right? From karma. Is there a chart about Dhamma? Is there a chart of this? There is, isn't it? Abhidhamma.org, yeah? Okay, so there is a chart. After the class, let's go and check out the chart together, right? So have the chart, but do your own notes. Do your own notes, right? I think when you understand the concept of it, it would be quite easy to grasp it as well, isn't it? Right? Now, when it comes to Vipassana, right? Now, these parts are actually much more easier to see compared to the parts of the mind when it comes to Vipassana, right? Because these parts are parts which you will start seeing much more earlier than the more deep parts of the mind, right? When it comes to the Rupa, right? The dissolution of Rupa happens. There is a technique, many techniques actually, which takes the pathway where the dissolution happens when realizing or coming into realization rather, with regards to the arising and the passing away and the connections between these different phenomena originating from the different hetus. Okay, so that is when, for example, you've heard really people sort of seeing sandstorms in their meditation, or their whole being turning into a sandstorm rather, right? Or feeling as a sandstorm. That is all to do with these little kalapas, right? Dissolution of it, right? So these are important parts, right? It might not make sense right now, but do some reading, listen to some Dhamma, it will become infinitely more clear, right?
Bhante, can I add?
Yes, please.
I think the way I studied was actually, I studied this one through the what do you call, the Patisandhichitta, and how with the Patisandhichitta, how these 3 basic Rupa Kalapas appeared and how it propagates. And once you establish the basic understanding, then you realize the functionality of the Rupa Kalapa, because Rupa Kalapa is also more of scientific phenomena actually. And a lot of people, they have given a scientific interpretation to these Rupa Kalapa, which is like string theory or the subatomic particles. So the Rupa Kalapas are actually subatomic particles, and a collection of these Rupa Kalapas makes a single molecule or single cell. And that's how I studied, and it's easier to understand that way than the process given through this book.
Oh,
because
yeah, absolutely. I think so. Actually, I'm a person who has read the Abhidhamma and who also knows quantum physics to come and give us a talk. I'm if you know someone, point him in my direction, please, Dhamsiri, or anyone else actually. Because I think it would be very, very interesting to listen to a person who knows the Abhidhamma as well as quantum physics, who would be able to sort of, give us an explanation with regards to those sort of sciences as well. I think that would be really interesting. Really interesting. So let's see. So let's go ahead. Yeah. Okay. Right. The inseparable material. Okay. The inseparable material phenomena constitute the pure octahedr. They, together with bodily intimation, constitute the bodily intimation nonad. Together with vocal intimation and sound, the vocal intimation dikhat. together with material phenomena of lightness triad and the undecard, is it undecard? Undecard? N. All right. The or endecard. Lias Lakshman, what is it?
I think it's unidecad. Bhante, is uni means one, isn't it? Uni means one.
The unidecard.
Yeah, it's actually one means actually 10 and 1, 11. 11 components in the rupas in the unit, yes.
Is it unit or
No, I is sort of silent, undecard.
undecard of lightness triad, the dodecard of bodily intimation, and the lightness triad, right? And the tridecard of vocal intimation, sound, and lightness triad. These 6 material groups originate from consciousness. These 6 material groups originate from consciousness, right? From consciousness. From consciousness, right? Because owing to the consciousness, the volition to communicate, the volition to produce sound is that which the intimation depends on to produce what it produces, isn't it? The volition becomes the foundation to the communication. If you want to remember, last class we said, even if to communicate or to put out even how you would feel, that comes as an intimation. Even if you are not aiming at a specific person, we took the example of an interview, right? Of an interview when you're sitting at the reception waiting, right? That also comes out as intimation properties. Here, these 6 material groups originate from consciousness. Do you understand? Do you want to read that again? Would you like to read that again? No? Okay. Give it a read. Oh, yes, I can see Mali's face. Okay, Mali, let's read. No problem. Let's read. The inseparable material phenomena constitute the pure octahedr, right? The pure octahedr. Together with bodily intimation, constitute the bodily intimation onad, right? Together with vocal intimation and sound, the vocal intimation decard. Together with material phenomena of lightness triad, and undecard of lightness triad, and the dodecard of bodily intimation and the lightness triad, and the tridecard of vocal intimation and sound and lightness triad. These 6 material groups originate from consciousness, right? From consciousness. Groups originating from temperature. The pure octahedr, the sound nonad, the undecard of lightness triad, the undecard of lightness triad, right? Of lightness triad, the dodecard of sound and lightness triad. Sound and the lightness triad, these 4 originate from temperature, right? These 4 originate from temperature. Groups originating from nutriment. The pure octahedr, the undecard of lightness triad, the undecard of lightness triad are the 2 material groups that originate from nutriment. The pure octad can come about because of nutriment. The undikad of the lightness triad, right? Remember we read earlier, 2 pages ago, it said that nutriment can have an effect upon the lightness triad, isn't it? The hardness, the softness, ujjuta, kamanyata, mudutta, right? That is what it is saying here. Are the 2 material groups that originate from nutriment, right? That originate from nutriment. The internal and external. The internal and external. Of them, the 2 material groups produced by temperature are the pure octad and the sound nonad. These are found externally too. All the rest are strictly internal, right? All the rest are strictly internal, right? Now, let me go to trying to share the screen. To just go over the okay, I think let me just share on the computer. Can you see this? The chart? Right. So here, all of this comprises of what we have gone through with all of these originations. Now, with regards to, now we are discussing groups originating from nutriment, groups originating from consciousness, groups originating from karma. This is this part, sorry, this part right here. You can see my cursor moving, yes? Right? This part right here, right? When we speak about the proximate causes, the reasons behind these, the origination of these, we find the proximate cause here, right? The manifestation of these phenomena that arise are through the receiving, the holding together, the sticking and all of that with regard to the rupas that you will find here, right? So go through this chart, right? Now, for example, when we take, let's take this one, the I, right? The I, the origination becomes karma, is karma. The proximate cause is karma-bound matter originated by the desire to see, right? karma-born matter originated by the desire to see. Now, what is the karma-born? What manifests, or when you read this right now, karma-born matter originated by the desire to see, what do you think about? What do you think about?
Is it the tanha? Without the tanha, you won't want to see.
Sure. Tanha. Yes. What else? Let's think on the lines of what we have studied right now. Of course, we have studied Anusaya, but within Abhidhamma.
Because of the tanha, Bhante, the Chakku Prasada is
Sure.
present. Chakku Prasada is present, yeah? Because.
But Chakku Prasad is present. Tanha alone doesn't fuel Chakku Prasada, no?
The likeness with the kamma to see, desire to see, because of the desire.
No,
No, I can't.
you can't translate desire into Pali. Right? But as when we see now Chakku, we'll read the whole thing here. Right? We have the Rupa, which is Chakku. The translation is, of course, I. The class is Prasada. Right? This is all Prasada. Right? Prasada Rupa, we know that no, it's sensitive organs. Right? The characteristic is sensitivity fit for reflection of the visible form. Right? We know that as well. It is a reflection of light carrying the object. Right? The function to pull the consciousness towards the visible object. Right? I based on consciousness. Now, even when you read this part, just put this part and this part together. What is the chitta class that arises into mind? If we narrow it down.
Kammaja Rupa.
Okay, Kammaja Rupa. Tell me about the Kamma. I want to know the Kamma. Tell me about the Kamma. This, now Kammaja Rupa, the manifestation, it is a manifestation of Kamma. That is clear to all of us. Kammaja Rupa, right? We're talking about the Rupa aspect. But what allows the Prasada Rupa to function?
The vipaka of the, it's a ahetuka.
Vipaka of Annahari. Vipaka ahetuka. All right, vipaka ahetuka, right? That is fueling to pull the consciousness towards, right? The prasad, for the functioning of the prasada rupa to pull the consciousness towards the visible object, all of that is the ahetuka kamma, which is now sort of from the chitta side. Without that kamma only does one thing, which is this. Which is this specifically right now. So you are seeing what you are now reading, what you are now putting together rather, is chitta affecting kamma. I'm sorry, chitta affecting rupa. Right? The chitta that supports this process to go on, which is a kamma vipaka. We are now, this is the vipaka, which is the kamma born originated by the desire to see. That desire is fueled by the ahetuka. Do you get it? That is where now it fits. Right? The desire, tanha, but tanha with tibunata madi. You have to have something which bridges tanha to what you want to get done. That in consciousness is the ahetuka. In rupa, it is this. Do you get it?
Yeah.
Right? Then we have the origination is of course kamma. The attributes of this is it is internal. This is what we have just finished reading on the book. Right? It is internal. Base though faculty grows near impinge clung to receiving object separable, produced with its own distinct nature. These parts we have to come into, right? But receiving object, gross, near, impinge, these parts we have all completed, and this we have just completed. Internal. These are processes that happens internal, and this is called the I decant. Okay. So next class, what we will do is, where have we stopped? Internal, external, occurrence of material phenomena, sensuous world. Okay. So let us read guide to verse 22 now. Next week, make sure that you read the book. That's for Monday. Make sure that you read the book. And what we will be doing is we will go through the chart. Okay. Do you want me to just send you the link of the chart? It's only up.
Yes, Bhante.
Yes, Bhante, please.
Well, Abhidhamma.com. Abhidhamma.com. It doesn't come. Abhidhamma.com and go into charts, and there you see rupas. Okay. We will be going through this chart, right?
Abhidhamma.com and Rupa chart.
Abhidhamma.com. Okay.
Bhante, there's separate one for Kalapas also in color.
Which one is that? What does
That's
Viti, Rupa, Pali. This one.
No.
The Kalapas.
yes.
Yes, we have gone into, yeah.
In your last class, you gave us a copy actually.
We
Yeah.
did the copy dancer.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yes. After හින්දාඩි දාන්න නැහැ නේද?
මට නම් දාඩිය දානවා. හොඳටම හින්දා.
It is, no, this is actually big. I think that other chart would be even better.
Yeah.
It covers everything that we have read. This big chart. So that chart. Next.
Yeah.
This same chart is there in 262. That same chart you showed is in the book, I think, 262.
Other
Yeah.
book.
That second chart, not the first one.
Here it is. It is in English. Yes. Yes, it is. It is in English, right? But let's go for the harder one. Not the harder one.
Yeah.
The more detailed.
The other one. Mm.
Not the harder one, the more detailed one, because it gives us exactly what we have just read with all the complicated words, right? And we will go through that chart. For now, let's just finish this last part, reading the last part, just so you don't have to, just make sure you read the book and just get a frame, and then we will discuss the chart, okay? It's not like a question and answer. We are just going to discuss, so you don't have to worry. Let's read the last part, right? Verse
22. We didn't read 22, sorry. The summary, 22 summary.
There are 21 material groups, 9, 6, 4, and 2, produced in due order. Produced in due order from karma, consciousness, temperature, and nutriment. As space demarcates and the characteristic marks just indicate, the wise state that they are not constituents of material groups. Herein, this is the grouping of material phenomena. The 9 groups produced by karma are the I decant, the ear decard, the nose decard, the tongue decard, the body decard, the female decard, the male decard, the heart-based decard, the vital nonad, right? The vital nonad. Now, I know that we are going to have a chart, but before preliminary to the chart or going depending on the chart, I would suggest that you make your own note or graph or whatnot, sketching it on your own with what you're reading. And then when you are clear on that, then go to the chart and depend on that, right? That will make you or force you rather to get a clear idea about what we have just read and how it sort of mixes and matches together. The 6 groups produced by consciousness are: 1, the pure octad; 2, the bodily intimation decard; the vocal intimation decard; the lightness triad undecard; the bodily intimation and lightness triad dodecard; the vocal intimation, sound and lightness triad tridecard. The 4 groups, so those are consciousness, right? Those are consciousness with regards to intimation and the pure octad. Now, the 4 groups produced by temperature are the pure octad, the sound nonad, the lightness triad undecard, the sound and lightness triad dodecard, right? All right. The 2 groups produced by nutriment are the pure octad and the lightness triad undecard. This look on your face, I remember when our university professor was going through the same, we had the same face. Don't worry, you are in well order. And still now when you're reading it, you don't really feel like you're going through Dhamma, really, isn't it? So don't worry about it. It's quite simple. It's quite simple, and it is really understanding based on what do these natures arise. That is the only question, right? What is the cause and the effect? For example, groups produced by consciousness, we know. චේතනාවක් පදනම් කරගෙන විඤ්ඤාති රූපයක් හටගන්නවා. ඒ විඤ්ඤාති රූපය හටගන්න පුළුවන් කීප ආකාරයකින්. ඒ ආකාර ටික තමයි දැන් මෙතන කඩලා තියෙන්නේ. කලාප වශයෙන්. කලාප කොට්ටාස වශයෙන්. Right? So විඤ්ඤාති රූපයක් හෝ විඤ්ඤාති චේතනාවක් පදනම් කරගෙන මෙවැනි කලාප රූපයන් ටික හටගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කලාප ටික තමයි ඒ කලාප රූප කොටස් ටික තමයි මෙතන තියෙන්නේ. Right? So what you have to now do at home, pure octad, what is it? Right? And then the bodily intimation decard, what is it? Right? What is the vocal intimation decard? Right? That is your first phase. The second phase is after you understand it, then you know මේ දෙක අවශ්‍යයි නොහෝ මේ 3 හෝ මේ 9 හෝ මේ 10 හෝ මේ 11 අවශ්‍යයි මේ දේ සිද්ධ වෙන්න. That is the final stage. Then you got it. Right? When you are able to put those things together, when you say now yamkisi, the basic structure of a rupa is the pure octad, right? So then the pure octad is what? We know පඨවි ආපෝ තේජෝ වායෝ වන්න ගන්ධ රස ඕජා. Right? ඒ පදනමට තමයි තව add වෙන්නේ. එකතු වෙන්නේ. Right? So it's not astrophysics or something like that. Although an astrophysician might be able to give us a mind-blowing explanation to all of this. I'm really looking for someone. So actually, if you know someone who knows the Abhidhamma as well as physics to that extent,
I'll try to trace. There's a guy actually in United States,
Yeah.
supposed to be a professor. Yes, he has given some lectures. I listened to that, and I'll try to trace his sort of contact
Okay.
and let you have it. The Bhante, I have a one simple question in this, right? Now you have pure octad in all three originations, but not in the Kamma.
Hmm.
Any any reason why pure octad is not included under Kamma?
Any reason why the pure octad is not included in the
Including in the Kamma. Kamma is starting with ID card.
So the I decade has the octad in there. That is why it
Yeah,
is the
but no. You missed my point. All the all the other kalapas has pure octad,
yes.
right? All 21 has pure octad plus additional rupas, right? So that's we understand that. But when it comes to we'll say consciousness based, there are 5 kalapas, starting with pure octad as a separate one. And when it comes to 4 groups produced by temperature, then again the first one is pure octad. Then when it comes to produced by nutrient, again the first one is pure octad, but not the group produced by Kamma. Group produced by Kamma, out of 9, pure octad is not included. No, it yeah, but that's part of the, it's part of the other rupas, kalapas. No, I think probably Mala is every kalapa has as a base pure octad, right? So if you go to every kalapa, why you call it decad? Because octad plus 2 makes 10, right? And why you call is dodecad? Because octad plus 3 additional ones, right? So we understand that. But octad as its own, itself, included in consciousness based, temperature based, and nutriment based, but not in Kamma.
Yes, absolutely. Brilliant question, Damsiri. And there's a very simple answer.
Yes, okay. What is that?
අනිත් කට්ටිය ටිකක් මඩවලා ඊට පස්සේ දෙමු ආන්සර් එක.
Bhante.
Yes, Chamali.
No, Mal,
So
you
it is to do with karma. Karma arises from a cause. So just on its own, the octad won't arise without a karma. My explanation is there is a hetu before this rupa arises. So it is not going to just arise as an octad.
Yes, it is. Did you get that, Damsiri?
Yeah.
We just do it at the chart.
Yeah.
When it comes to the rest, where they quote octad,
yeah.
හේතුවක් නුනු ඵලයක් වෙන්න ඵලයක් හට ගැනීමට යම්කිසි උදව්වක් තිබෙනවා. With karma, the pure octad can't arise without a support. That is why we have the I.
Okay, yeah.
Because it arises as a manifestation or supported by the consciousness which then wants to see, which is ahetuka chakku vinyana chitta.
Yeah.
Right? So that is why in Kamma, we don't have the pure octad. Because for Kamma Phala to arise, especially to give a result of phenomena, it has to have a support.
Or explanation can be what I think is when it comes to octad, all are inanimate. So karma cannot produce inanimate results.
Kamma cannot
Produce inanimate results.
results. Kamma cannot produce inanimate.
Because when it comes to pure octad, all components are inanimate.
Chamari, what do you think?
Bhante, yes, everything is made of the pure octad. So without a hetu, so the inanimate objects, shall we say,
What
will not
inanimate Damsiri?
Inanimate means now there's no jivitendriya.
There is no jivitendriya.
There's no jivitendriya. So without jivitendriya, right, the pure octad doesn't have jivitendriya. So without jivitendriya, there's no possibility of karma, cause, these rupa kalapas originating from karma.
So, for example, a table is an inanimate object.
Yeah.
It doesn't have, it won't have
It's a pure
karma.
octade. Yeah, it is pure octade. Table is a pure octade. Do you understand that? House is a pure octade because for a pure octade, you have to have Mahabhutas plus Rupa, Gandha, Rasa, and Oja. Oja is, that's why when a person dies, the body, if you see a dead body, what are the, I think for the next class, it's an important question you can raise. When a person is dead body, what are the rupas in this dead body? It's not only pure octade, there's additional one. And according to the book written by Amradasa, he has, actually I'm using this book written by Amradasa, and dead body has pure octad, and there's another one, the one with the nutrition. The rupas with nutrition, because that nutrition actually start acting on the body to rot.
Temperature. I think that's what you mean.
Yeah, temperature, yes.
Not nutriment.
Temperature. No, temperature, nutriment, I think. I'll discuss that one. We will discuss it because I had to read that section. It's very interesting. So that's the reason why I asked why octad, because in that book says that all the inanimate materials are all pure octad.
Yeah, that is why. Therefore, it won't have karma. So wherever you see
yes,
karma,
that's the reason why I said yes. So you can't originate inanimate objects from karma.
Karma is where you will also have the mind. So where there is
That's
no
right.
mind, that is what it means. So that is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
separation, clarification.
So we will discuss it, Bhante, next week.
Yes, we will go through, because I think it is a very it is a linear line, I think.
Yeah.
It is a linear line, but it is quite interesting when you put it that other way, where
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to be thinking about that as well, Dansley.
And those who do meditation can do the take this as a there's a meditation called Sapta Rupa Sapta meditation, which is actually meditating on materiality.
Yeah, not there yet. Not there yet.
Yeah. No, those who have achieved that level.
All right. So then we will close, and we will resume next week, Wednesday. Okay. Next week.
Thank you.
Take care and have a pleasant.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Goodbye. And this Poya, which falls on Sunday, right? We will be having a longer. We will have a morning still program, right? Which will which is from, we have the Bana in the afternoon, right? And we have morning meditation up until 12 o'clock for Poya, right? So starting is 8 too early? So you all can join whenever. We will
But
only a half day.
Bhante,
Yes.
I'll have to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning then. If you're going to start at
Join later, Devika, because it's not a full day session. Or we could do after 12 o'clock as well. Is that better? But that is then after lunch.
then you tend to sleep after lunch. No, not for me. I can do that. After 12.
Bhante, morning is better, no? Morning better.
9 o'clock is good.
Well, then it's only 1 hour more. So then shall we do like 9 to 2 o'clock, and then the Dhamma Desana, and then after Dhamma Desana it finishes? Something like that then.
Yes.
Okay, let's do that. Okay. So 9 o'clock onwards, then we go into the Dhamma Desana, and Dhamma Desana, which is at 3. Okay, so that's a good 6 hours then. Okay. All right. So 9 o'clock onwards.
Thank you, Bhante.
Right. The session is ending with the.
Going to have a sutra tomorrow.
Yes, we do have sutra tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, we have sutra. All right. Take care. Good night.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye, Bhante.
Okay.